evening, everyone. Tonight we're having a special board meeting, June 4th. And before we act on our items, please stand in honor of America with the recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so we have a special meeting tonight, and first of all, we have 3 finance items for action. So can I have a motion on 2.02 through 2.04? Questions, comments, discussion?
Oh, you started. Sorry.
Sorry about that. I was just waiting for Liz to go through. So my concern is we did call the special meeting on Thursday. I did not see where it was posted online 48 hours in advance for the public to be able to review any of these items. Additionally, we as a board were given, I think, the final 2.03, the resolution for awarding the bids for the high school the main distribution frame, MDF, reallocation project. That was just put on the agenda today. And
that's incorrect. It was yesterday.
okay, I kept checking the drafts. Maybe it got put up there late last night. I was in the drafts and both. Even still, it's not a full 48 hours notice. I also think that these are items that our special meeting doesn't allow public members to make comments on these things. So I also believe that these items should be put on a meeting where public comment is allowed for people to be able to voice their concerns about it. So for those reasons, I think that these should be tabled and put on the agenda at the next meeting to ensure that we're not in any way violating open meeting law and to allow the public to speak on these items.
So are you making a motion to table? Is that?
Yes, I make a motion to table these things until our regularly scheduled public session.
Is there a second?
I'll second just for purposes of discussion. Where are you getting 48 hours notice from?
When you look up the open meeting law on New York State, their website, their guidance, there's a link directly to it, and it talks about when you're supposed to have things posted, and it's on there. And it also talks
Notice
about...
of what exactly?
It says the meeting, so if you're calling a special meeting and it's called in advance, you have to send notice to your public. It has to be published in a newspaper, and it has to be 72 hours in advance.
We actually took action at a board meeting that gave notice to the public. The board did, not me, the board did.
I didn't realize that that's something that can be considered notice.
You voted on it.
Okay, and then again, the agenda, so it was voted on, and then it took a while to get the items that we were going to be going over for review. And again, these are contracts. This is, I feel like it should be something that's not a special meeting. I feel like the public has the right to be able to voice their concerns about these things, and it should be in a session where it's allowed to be done.
My question remains, where are you getting 48 hours? And to what does that apply? Are we talking about notice of the actual meeting or what?
Hang on, I was trying to send you the link I have.
I heard 72 and 48.
I believe maybe the 48 hours might be something with NISBA, but the New York State, I believe, is 72. So hang on, I can send you over the link if you want to review it.
If I may bring up the district clerk real quick. Terry, will you come forward? What is the requirement for any notice of meeting for a special meeting? Isn't it 24 hours prior, just notification being made? If not sooner.
The board is made aware of it.
Right, and the board was made aware of it at the last meeting, which they actually took an action upon and approved it. For the items, there was only one item that was added, which was sent out to the board because we could have called another special meeting. I received no objection from the board because we would have just called the meeting for yesterday, which was 24 hours, or tomorrow. So therefore, we added that, in which I think that was the easement, and the easement was required because if not, we might not be able to open a school on time because NICEAG has said if you don't get this passed, we won't order until it's passed. So that meant the urgency of necessity. Just like the MDF bid, we just received that yesterday in final recommendation, which was during the day that you posted it, not last night.
Correct.
So the Welliver agreement was posted when we made this live. I think that was Monday or something. And the boards had the draft ever since you created it last Thursday, correct? So as far as you know, have we violated any requirements or notification?
Not as
And our website has had that notification up for the public and news media.
And we're also not required, but it's best
Practice.
practice to provide it.
And as district clerk, you complied with what you're required to do,
Correct.
ladies and gentlemen.
I tried to send over a couple of texts that I don't know if you got them.
All right, well, I don't have time to look at the text right now. I'm looking at the law, which is, it's open meetings law, public officers law 103E talks about, records that would be made available to the public. If your government agency, runs a website, it says that such records shall be posted on the website to the extent practical, at least 24 hours prior to the meeting. So there's no 48-hour requirement, there's 24 hours, and it sounds like we met that, and it's not even ironclad, it says to the extent practical. So, I would suggest that we, if you're going to, table or possibly throw off a whole meeting, like, you just make sure that you got, the laws and facts straight before you come and give us 48 hours or whatever, which are not anywhere in the law.
Mr. President, can you call the question?
Oh, wait, any board discussion?
I just wanted to kind of, for the record, to point out, as was just said by the district clerk, we do say in our policies that the special meeting may be called on 24 hours notice, and that's policy 2340. I quote, a special meeting of the board may be called with 24-hour notice of board members, and the agenda preparation distribution talks about making things available, which is 2342, to the extent possible, to make time for consideration prior to the board meeting. So it seems to me like we're in accordance with our policy, and then I, too, looking at open meetings law, it's hard to do the research on the fly here, but if it talks about a 1-week notice, I think posting a notice of the meeting on the website would be sufficient. That's what I'm told we did. So I'm not seeing anything immediately that suggests that it's not proper.
Other curiosities, other comments?
But I would like, I think if you have a citation to this 48-hour rule, it would be helpful for us to know what that is.
meeting law, a review of the 5th Annual District Clerk Conference of NISBA. And on page 6, I'm reading special or emergency, number 3, special or emergency meetings. Part B, they may be called by any school board member as long as 24 hours advance notice is given to other board members, citing Ed Law 1606, Section 3. And then as far as meeting agendas, it states, number 1, although it is good practice to have an agenda for board meetings, an agenda is not specifically required.
Other fun comments? All right, so call the question, all in favor?
Wait a second, which question did you?
Oh, for tabling.
I'm in favor of tabling these for the reasons I stated before.
So, all opposed? Abstentions? Motion fails. All right, so now we have a motion on the 3 items, the finance items for action still pending. Do we have any curiosities or comments on those 3 items?
Yes, I have a question. How many instances have we requested Welliver to be the project manager for the things other than the capital projects? And where are we able to find the cost of those things?
On the board docs from construction management approval by the board. I can't remember exactly which month. They have a contracted service. This has been an ongoing document to take care of the annual projects that we already had an agreed upon fee of 8%. This was between the lawyers, and the lawyers recommended this time the documents in full, as we are ending those small projects at the end of this project, I believe, even in our budget. So therefore, this is paperwork cleanup on the Welliver agreement. Unfortunately, Katie can't be here because they are driving back from Saratoga and all. Thank you.
Can I just clarify one
Sure.
thing? So if you go into board docs on the search, if you put Welliver, there's like 26, I want to say, things that come up. And then it's easy to find that way for future looking.
Okay, so right now, this contract that we're doing is to back pay because it's applying for 22-23 and then moving forward for 23-24. But it does say that it's continuing through 2026. It's saying that this is for the capital construction projects, the referendum 1 or 2, but it also does talk about the 8% on any other projects that anything else. And I know that our debt service line was each year it seems to be a very big issue.
Well, it hasn't been an issue before this year, unfortunately.
And so we weren't able to see the debt service breakout of what it encompassed. During the budget process, I did ask for that to see it, so I'm not sure if those are because of smaller projects that are being requested that Welliver does throughout the year, or if it's because of the capital construction referendums that are happening.
This contract is only about the yearly projects that are put into the budget that have been approved each year by the voters.
But this is saying that we're also doing it for any other, it says for any other project in addition to
The annual capital.
the annual capital project. So I guess I'm not trying to disagree that we don't need to have a project manager for certain things, but do they submit requests for the proposals of different things that happen, or do we request their services for things that happen?
We did all of this by request for proposals, and we've done it regularly for the past 9 years.
So we request them each time we have a
Each
project?
time, we have a contract that's up for about 5 years with them, and RFPs are usually renewed somewhere around 4 or 5 years.
So this is a 4 or 5 year mark. So they're the only contractor that we utilize for when anything might happen.
They're our construction manager, they're not a contractor.
So they're the manager, so they're just,
Right. They work for our best interest.
they're working for the best interest
Yes.
to make sure. And so then when do we get updated from them?
You have been, last time they were here, they also present every time we've done capital projects. It's
So,
all online.
I mean, I'm not just talking about the capital construction, I'm talking about any type of thing that needs to happen construction-wise in buildings.
Our facilities and grounds committee gets updated every month, which is represented by the board,
Okay, but,
and the minutes are sent on to the board.
okay, but the public, they only get updates every 6 months, and it's only about the capital construction, and then we only get the debt service line that we're over at the end of the year during the budget?
No.
Is that how that works? Because
No.
that's kind of how it's seeming to look to me.
That's how you're interpreting it, that's not how everybody else is interpreting
Okay.
it. Mr. Christmas?
I think it's just important to point out that what's in agenda item 2.02 is really what I would describe as a pricing agreement.
Mhm.
So this just sets a price, 8%, that will be applied. It doesn't actually award any business to Welliver. It doesn't, and this might help Katrina, anytime there's the contemplation of some sort of a capital project, that is going to be a separate contractual agreement that will be, put in front of the board that we would vote upon. And so that would be a whole separate process. This is just creating a pricing structure that would apply to those, either to the extent they've already been committed to, or in the future they would be committed to. So I think this is not awarding business to Welliver. This is agreeing upon pricing to apply.
It's like tonight, 2.03 is Welliver and Architects recommending to us to award contracts to these bidders, which we have to follow state law. And that is responsible under law that we must do as a public entity. But Welliver does that work for us as well.
Right, and I think it's just fair to say that if there were, so there's normal things that happen in the district all the time. We fix, right? To the extent we were going to bring in outside contractors and enter into some kind of contractual project of any significance, that would be a whole separate, agreement to be brought in front of the board and we would have to vote. Thank you.
So thanks for that clarification, Dan. So my question is, when we're looking at these bids that they've awarded, do we have the documentation to say what the original costs were in the project compared to what the bids are? And if these are over what was initially passed in referendum to for the cost of the project for the MDF?
That isn't how it works, and we've explained that several times. There's an overarching amount for the entire project. This piece of the project has a cost associated with the South Gym. This project is roughly, I think, about 1.5 to 1.8 million, which will have potential savings on the actual South Gym project because you're able to do it prior to, and that was the suggestion by the architects and the construction manager, so that A, it doesn't slow down any potential future construction, and this construction is necessary because it deals with the main data framework of the entire district as well as the libraries to move it and make sure there's no interruption. That's why they've recommended it move forward, and it's part of the South Gym's cost, but just removed from it once the work is done.
So this is included in the overall scope of the initial cost of what was quoted for the South Gym. So,
Project 2,
okay, so the MDF is the technology hub that we have.
yep,
And
down that corner.
And so you're gonna tear the building down, or
No.
just what's in that room? apart?
Somebody put that out, I don't know who, surreptitiously online, that we're tearing down the gym. That's factually inaccurate. What we said is we have to take the MDF and pull it back. It's going from that corner because this portion would be the new gym over towards the middle courtyard area in a safer area. And it's actually going back along its hard data line frame so that as we do it, we can relocate it. And then when the time comes that the South Gym project would go, they can pretty much go through demolition without impeding the operations of the district, the town, the library that feed off of our dark fiber, village fiber. So they'll appreciate it because they're getting free service out of this, which I think we should charge them.
So do they have to, so you're moving the location of it, so then are they going to have to rerun all of the fibers and cables and everything else throughout the rest of the building?
No,
They're just.
that's why
they
they're
just
pulling
have to-
it back,
okay.
yes.
And then do we ever get to see, were there any other bids? Like when bids come in, does the board get to see all of the bids and what came in, or do we only just get to vote on what
We
they're?
bring you
telling
the
us?
lowest responsible bidder, which we're required to do by law, so we'll show you the bids. It doesn't matter, we can't choose them no matter what.
Right, okay. Just to compare, I don't know if we ever get to see if
Believe me,
there's
we
anybody
do a
else
hell
who
of a job
bids.
here. I thank Mike and everybody, Welliver, and them. We give the best responsible bid, the opportunity, and luckily we have great local companies that end up usually getting awarded. Go ahead, Mike.
I can guarantee you that this bid that we just got here, we worked on the weekend. I first of all appreciate y'all being here. This is very time sensitive. This will be under, this project that we're doing right now will be under, it'll be under bid. It'll be under the price that we allotted for it. And we're all not going to be working the last couple of days. So we're under budget. Okay? It's very vital to get to school. It's not only just the high school that we're talking going back.
Every
That updates all of our buildings. Possibility to shut down all of our buildings during construction, knowing that we're not starting, we took the opportunity this summer to get it moved. And it'll be a lot of assurance as well as keeping village, the towns, and us knowing that it must be, and it's being done at the most efficient cost that we feel we can.
Thank you, Mike, for that explanation. I appreciate all of that and the clarity of all of it. So I just, it's not, I don't ask questions because I'm, I ask questions because I think that's my job. I'm supposed to ask questions to do my due diligence with oversight. So that's why I'm asking these questions. So thank you.
Call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm opposed only for the reasons that I had stated earlier.
Abstentions? All right, I need a motion to go into executive session to discuss individual personnel matters of a legal nature and legal issues of a student/students.
Second.
All in favor?